Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Many people associate Emperor Qin Shi Huang with the term tyrant at first mention. He is often seen as the cruel, domineering ruler who burned books, buried scholars alive, suppressed intellectuals, and even killed loyal officials after they had outlived their usefulness. Soldiers were also forced to live sacrifices for him. But is this the true picture of Emperor Qin Shi Huang in history? In 1975, archaeologists discovered over 1,000 bamboo slips in a tomb from the Qin dynasty in Puyi County, Hubei. The content of these bamboo slips consisted of historical records from the late Warring States period to the Qin dynasty. In 2002, another significant discovery was made in Liyue, Longshan County, Hunan, where more than 30,000 bamboo slips known as the Liyue Qin bamboo slips were found. These discoveries shocked the archaeological world. These bamboo slips provide detailed records of the Qin state's economy, labor, slavery system, criminal laws, and social life, contradicting the traditional historical narrative that describes the Qin dynasty's laws as harsh and its people's suffering. In fact, the legal system of the Qin dynasty was more humane than previously imagined. And the image of Qin Shi Huang was not as cold-hearted as described in historical texts. 1. Humane military discipline and regulations. Many people's impression of the Qin law comes from Sima Qian's Records of the Grand Historian, which depicts it as excessively harsh and cruel. According to the Records of the Grand Historian, Qin law was so strict that even the slightest mistake could lead to execution, which became the backdrop for the Chengsheng and Wuguang uprising. At that time, Chengsheng and Wuguang were delayed by heavy rain and could not reach their destination on time. Fearing punishment under Qin law, they decided to rebel. However, the bamboo slip records completely break this stereotype. In reality, the Qin law explicitly stated, anyone whose military service is delayed due to rain can be exempted from military punishment. In other words, the laws of the Qin dynasty were flexible in certain situations and did not impose severe penalties for small accidents. This suggests that the harsh interpretations of Qin law in historical narratives may have been used to provide a reasonable explanation for the uprising led by Chengsheng and Wuguang. Additionally, when it came to conscription, the Qin dynasty demonstrated a more humane side. Every year during the conscription process, it was mandated that each family retain at least one male member to take care of the elderly and continue the family line. People under 1.5 meters tall were exempt from military service. Even convicted criminals were not forced to work for free. They were paid 8 qian coins per day, which could be exchanged for 4 jin, about 2 kilograms, of millet, enough to sustain a laborer's family. These details show that the laws of the Qin dynasty were not as devoid of compassion as traditionally portrayed. 2. Misunderstanding of the burning of books and burying of scholars. The burning of books and burying of scholars has long been a key symbol of Qin Shi Huang's tyrannical image, especially due to the vivid account in the Records of the Grand Historian. In 213 BCE, Emperor Qin Shi Huang discussed with his officials whether to implement a system of prefectures and counties or continue the feudal system. The Confucian scholar, Chunyu, proposed that the feudal system be continued, following the example of the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties. This proposal was strongly opposed by the legalist Prime Minister Li Si, who believed that Confucian teachings were illusory and disruptive to state order. To strengthen the dominance of legalism, Qin Shi Huang ultimately agreed with Li Si's opinion and decided to burn certain books. However, the historical facts are not as simple as they may seem. In reality, Qin Shi Huang's burning of books was aimed specifically at the historical records of the feudal states, not a comprehensive suppression of Confucian thought. Qin Shi Huang did not burn all books but only those that related to the history of other feudal lords, aiming to eliminate any potential negative influence on national unity. As for the Confucian scholars, although their ideas were criticized by legalists, they were not directly persecuted by the book burnings. Moreover, in the later years of his reign, Qin Shi Huang recruited many magicians or alchemists to search for the secret to immortality. When these were no longer able to deceive him, they began preparing to leave, fearing punishment. This angered Qin Shi Huang, who ordered the arrest of over 500 in the capital. The so-called burying of scholars was, in fact, an order to punish these deceptive magicians, not Confucian scholars. Over time, this historical event was misinterpreted. And even classical texts like the Shangshu incorrectly described the victims as Confucian scholars. From these new historical findings, it becomes clear that the image of Qin Shi Huang has been distorted and misunderstood by later Confucian scholars. In an effort to reassert their own position, Confucians exaggerated the tyrannical aspects of Qin Shi Huang in historical accounts, creating many false stories. 3. The construction of the Great Wall and forced labor. The history of the Qin dynasty's construction of the Great Wall is often cited as evidence of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tyranny. However, in reality, there are few historical records that specifically mention Qin Shi Huang personally directing the construction of the Great Wall. So why did the building of the wall become one of the symbols of his oppressive rule? This is largely due to the widely circulated folk story of Meng Jiangnu's weeping over the Great Wall. The story goes as follows: because Emperor Qin Shi Huang ordered the construction of the Great Wall. The scale of the project was vast, requiring the labor of many common people. These workers endured extremely harsh conditions, with many dying during the construction. Legend has it that Meng Jiangnu's husband also died while working on the wall. Heartbroken, she cried bitterly at the wall, and her weeping was said to have caused the wall to collapse, revealing the bodies of the dead workers. However, this story is clearly fictional. How could a woman's tears possibly destroy such a solid structure as the Great Wall? In fact, the origins of Meng Jiangnu's story can be traced back to earlier records. It first appeared in the Zhuozhuan, where it described the wife of the Qi general Qi Liang, who, after her husband's death for the country, mourned for him outside the city. She was upset that the ruler of Qi only paid homage to her husband outside the city, so she cried for several days. The ruler, moved by her grief, eventually visited her home to pay respects. The story was further developed over time. During the Han Dynasty, the scholar Lu Xiang adapted it in Shuiyuan, describing the wife's cries as shaking the heavens and causing the city walls to collapse. By the Tang Dynasty, the poet-monk Guanxiu reimagined the setting to the Qin Dynasty, turning the fallen city walls into the Great Wall. This absurd tale, passed down over centuries, eventually morphed into the legend of Meng Jiangnu's weeping over the Great Wall, which contributed to labeling Qin Shi Huang as a tyrant. Of course, Qin Shi Huang did indeed force the people to undertake large construction projects, such as the mausoleum at Mount Li. These projects did place heavy burdens on the people. However, directly associating the construction of the Great Wall with tyranny is clearly an oversimplification. 4. The misunderstanding of killing the donkey after the grinding is done. Another reason Qin Shi Huang is criticized as a tyrant is his cold-hearted treatment of loyal officials, particularly the story of killing the donkey after the grinding is done. Historically, this phrase is often used to describe Qin Shi Huang's treatment of the general Li Xian. When Li Xian failed to capture the state of Chu as planned and suffered a disastrous defeat, many believe that Qin Shi Huang should punish him severely. In reality, however, Qin Shi Huang did not resort to extreme revenge. Instead, Qin Shi Huang continued to rely on Li Xian's colleague, the veteran general Wang Jian, even appointing him as the chief commander with Li Xian as the deputy. Together, they launched another massive campaign against Chu with 600,000 troops. Wang Jian went on to become a hero who contributed to the unification of the 6 states. if we were to apply the killing the donkey after the grinding is done standard, then Liu Bang, the founding emperor of the Han dynasty, would be a more fitting example. Liu Bang, after founding the Han dynasty with several other feudal lords, eliminated them once his new regime was established. In comparison, Qin Shi Huang did not engage in a large-scale purge of his officials. And even those generals who had failed were merely placed under house arrest rather than subjected to extreme measures. Thus, from this perspective, Qin Shi Huang's actions do not fit the definition of killing the donkey after the grinding is done. 5. The misunderstanding of living sacrifices for burial. In 1974, with the discovery of the terracotta army, Emperor Qin Shi Huang once again became the subject of controversy. The sheer number and lifelike appearance of the terracotta figures amazed people with the ancient artisans' skill in pottery. However, with this discovery came a shocking theory. Some suggested that the terracotta warriors might have been modeled after living people, leading to the so-called living human figurine theory. According to this theory, during the creation of the terracotta army, living people were covered in clay and then placed in a kiln, where the heat fused them with the clay to become living figurines. This theory might seem plausible at first, as there have indeed been historical examples of human sacrifice, particularly during the Shang dynasty, where human remains were often found in noble tombs. For example, in several royal tombs at the Yin ruins in Anyang, there were numerous instances of human sacrifices. However, with the implementation of Zhou rites, the practice of human sacrifice gradually faded. By the time of the Qin state, Qin Shi Huang had already issued laws prohibiting human sacrifice, and as the successor of Qin Shi Huang, Qin Shi Huang would certainly not have gone against these ancestral laws by instituting such cruel practices. More importantly, archaeological discoveries have proven that the terracotta army is not made of living figurines. First of all, no human bones have been found among the excavated terracotta warriors. Archaeologists have also used nuclear magnetic resonance technology to examine these figures, and no evidence has been found to suggest that they were made from living humans. Furthermore, some of the terracotta warriors have developed cracks over time due to weathering. The cracked areas have shown no evidence of human-related materials, they are only filled with clay. These findings clearly demonstrate that the so-called living figurines theory is a misunderstanding with no factual basis. In fact, the craftsmanship of the terracotta warriors is extraordinarily refined, showcasing the advanced ceramic technology of the time. By precisely controlling the firing time and temperature, artisans were able to ensure the figure's durability while also creating figures with vivid colors and lifelike forms. Each terracotta warrior is unique, and distinct facial expressions and poses can even be discerned. Although some of the painted colors have faded due to oxidation, the exquisite craftsmanship from thousands of years ago can still be appreciated. Therefore, the terracotta army is not made of living figurines, but rather represents a masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship and culture. These figures may symbolize the soldiers who made great contributions to the Qin dynasty or the loyal souls who died on the battlefield. They were buried alongside Emperor Qin Shi Huang, providing a final resting place for these heroes. Moreover, Qin Shi Huang's legal code also demonstrates his rigorous approach to social order. For example, he promoted gender equality and required married men and women to be loyal to their marriages. Those who were found guilty of infidelity would face severe punishment, including forced labor. While we cannot deny that Qin Shi Huang did implement some harsh policies in his later years, which contributed to social pressure, it is important not to make overly harsh judgments based solely on unfounded rumors. The truth of history is often complex and multifaceted, and Qin Shi Huang's historical position should not be entirely tarnished due to certain misunderstandings. Looking at history from a broader perspective, Qin Shi Huang made an indelible contribution to the unification of the country, the establishment of a legal system, and the spread of culture. Overall, his achievements far outweigh the misunderstandings and slanders that have surfaced throughout history. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.